Welcome back to Rugby AM's Bad Monday right here, All Star FM. Got a few, we've got a couple of stories coming from Australia about Kelvin. We've got to ask. Sorry, I can't look. We've got to talk. Kelvin, we've got to ask you. Tommy B said, ask Kelvin about his love of Greg Bird.
Love of Greg Bird. Well, obviously being the ultimate rugby Roy, you know, bit of a keynote. But no, Greg Bird as a kid was my favourite player. Then when he came over to Super League playing for Catalan, I was obviously a big fan of his. But no, and I got a chance to meet him just recently. I thought he was in November or something when they were over for the World Cup, and I had a picture with him.
We've got the picture. We'll tweet it out.
Bit of a moment, yeah. I was like, "You're my favourite player. I really like you."
You like Charlie with that dingo in the bushes.
He's got chubby little hips as Greg Bird. So people say to me. Love his chubby little hips.
But now he's a quality player. I think he's brilliant.
Would you pass him if you seen him out on a night out and you had a few too many beers? And
two sorts together there, isn't
there? Yeah, he's a good sort as well. That's why I like him as well. You know, a fellow sort. So we just.
So you don't feel superior to him.
Yeah.
Let's get this right. You'd rather have Greg Bird over Sonny Bill on a sort scale.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sonny Bill at all. I think he's overrated.
Oh, Keith.
You're saying that to me? I'm fine with that.
Keith and Sonny.
This is just your love relationship.
I do love Sonny. Sonny is.
Well, you will do your business without Roosters boys, aren't you?
I'm a Roosters fan now.
You got a tie and everything.
My tie is pride of place in my bedroom, just on the side. I was looking every day thinking what could have been if I'd have stayed in us. There's a funny story about Kelvin when Luke and him went down to Brighton for a night out. I think it's Luke Burgess. Can you tell us about this night out?
Yeah, I could tell you about the night out. It was, I think Luke were injured at the time. He'd done his metatarsal or something, so his foot was in a cast. So we went down to Brighton for a night for a few random beers, and we eventually got there. After on the train was quite late, about 10 o'clock at night. We'd not booked an hotel, so was rushing around trying to get an hotel. On the reception desk of one particular hotel, they said, "Well, we're fully booked, but here's a list of of some local hotels." So it was in the middle of Brighton, like I say, about 10 o'clock at night, and we got one hotel that had a spare room. So we checked in, and it was called the Amsterdam. And we later found out that there was only 4 rooms there, and it was actually a gay sauna. So me and Luke checking in, the guy was like, "Hello boys," and it was like, yeah. So we're thinking, God, he was really friendly, weren't he? and then we got upstairs, and it's a really cosy little room with 2 little single beds, and we was like made up because we thought this is all right, and it must have paid about 40 quid, thinking, you know, let's have a few beers now. We'll have a good night of it, and you know we've had a touch really getting this hotel, and then
you have a touch literally.
We met a gay couple when we was out that night, and I think Brighton's quite infamous for the gay community, and it was great for me and Luke. We were mixing with them all and having a few beers, and the guy said, "Well, actually, the hotel where you're at is actually a gay sauna." So we was obviously we didn't get a chance to go in it, unfortunately, but yeah, it was a good night.
Did you get naked and covered in flour?
That was another night. That was. I've got into a few random mad nights with the likes of Biffa and the Burgess boys sometimes. So I don't know what it is. It's this. All my inhibitions seem to get thrown out the window, and I seem to just let myself go.
Just asking why every time he has a drink he has to get naked.
I don't know. You kind of feel pretty liberated, don't you, when you take your clothes off?
New rig off, don't I?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll be doing that at the moment. Yeah, if I'm training quite a bit, then yeah, the top comes off straight away. As soon as I go into that bar, yeah, I'll be about 9:30, 10 o'clock, tops off shouting. I'll be calling it. I've had one Jaeger bomb, and the top straight off. So no, it's not really. It's just more of letting yourself go and having a laugh, and you know, when everyone's naked, you're all equal, then, aren't you? I suppose you've got to fold your clothes up, put them in the corner. Yeah. Have a dance. Cars next week. Go out for a beer, yeah.
I like it. I'm up for that now.
Keith, I bet Keith's got no pants on. Have you got any pants on?
Yeah, I've got some pants on today.
What? Not like you.
I've been to the gym, haven't I? So I've come straight from the gym. So I don't mind a bit of naked weights, but you know, I needed to.
What have you been doing in gym, Keith? Beach weights.
Oh, too right.
Arms,
don't have to do
arms, chest.
All this power rubbish now. Straight into beach weights. Bit of triceps and chest in here.
Move. Beast mode.
Break you.
We're going to play a game. Are you two guys up for the try me game, playing against each other? Are you going to let each other send a tweet off your phone?
Obviously, you're professional, so we don't want you to go over the top with the tweets. You've got to think about careers.
We don't want to bring anyone into disrepute any employers doing, but I'm certainly up for that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with that. Yeah, why not?
I know you've got a young lad, but you've also got a wife, haven't you? I'll tread carefully now.
Do your worst, mate. Go on. I'm going to win anyway. So
we're going to play Try Me Now, then we're going to do Knowing Me, Knowing You with Carvell today.
Right. So tonight's Try Me.
The roof is caved in.
Next week's guest, Luke Robinson, has scored 78 career tries, but as man of God and former Rhino Ali Lawatiti scored more or less career tries than Luke Robinson.
Who goes first here?
Either or. Looks before beauty.
So Luke, Robbo scored 78 as Ali Lawatiti scored more or less tries.
Played a lot longer, hasn't he?
Luke made his debut for like Wigan at like 12-year-old or something. Didn't he?
Yeah. It still looks it, yeah. It still looks 12. I'm going to say, yeah, Ali scored more, yeah.
So Carv's you saying more, Kelvin?
Yeah.
You can go the same.
You can go the same.
If the scores are tied at the end, there is a tiebreaker.
Nude one.
I'll go the same. I'll go the same as Gaz, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Bottle.
So both going more?
Yeah.
Both incorrect.
Oh, both incorrect.
65. So Big Ali has scored 65 career tries, but has Sir Kevin Sinfield scored more or less tries than Ali?
Go on, you go first, mate.
I don't think Sinfield's got a lot of tries.
Yeah, fella Oldham boy.
Got a lot of points. Played a lot of games, yeah.
463 games.
No, I reckon Ali's got more tries than him than Sinner.
So you're saying Kev scored less?
Scored less tries, yeah.
Go on, I'll go opposite. Just to
shake things up.
Oh! Doesn't scare you, does it?
Come on.
1-0 to Kelvin.
Hey, no!
He's nice.
He's actually out of this.
43 tries he's scored.
That's bad try scoring rate. That he's played over 500 games.
Has it? You should see mine.
You've only played 10 games.
Yeah. Well, he's got 10 tries though, so 100%.
Sorry about
that. So Kev has scored 43 career tries, but as owner of the curliest locks in Super League, Sean O'Loughlin scored more or less career tries.
There's no way he's got
Kev.
curly locks and just Charlie. No way.
Oh, come on.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I think Loughlin's scored a few. He's a bit devastating with the old try and that. I think he's a great player as well. But I reckon Lockers has scored more tries than Sinfield.
Calves.
Yeah, I think he's scored more.
Calves.
Yeah, the Hummer.
There's not many to go. You need to win this. You got to get this one right.
We can go all night,
We've got
can't
one
we?
left after this.
Oh, look, you need this. You need this.
I do need this. I'm going to have to go.
Play it safe.
You're not going to. You can't play it safe.
Don't let him pressure you. He's king of peer pressure.
I think Lockers has scored more. I do, yeah.
You both be correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
52.
Ooh. 52.
This one.
This is the one.
So this is the one. Kelvin, if you win, Carv's phone's yours. Carv's, if you win this question, we'll go to the tiebreaker.
Let's go.
So Lockers has scored 52 career tries, but as Salford winger and best friend of Marwan Kukash, Danny Williams, scored more or less career tries than Sean O'Loughlin.
How many has he scored, Lockers?
52.
52.
So as Danny Williams scored.
Danny Williams only played a couple of years for Leeds in first team, didn't he? And then he went to Rugby Union. So he's probably had what?
But he's
70,
a winger.
80 career games.
I'm going to go less. I'm going less.
I was going to go less as well.
Oh,
that would be playing it safe.
You got to go opposite. Calves, you've got to go every.
That's why I got it in first.
Okay, I'll go more tries.
He goes less anyway, it doesn't matter because
you'll win.
Yeah, so more. I think Danny Williams has scored more tries than Sean O'Loughlin.
Calves has pulled it back.
Oh, come on!
So for the first time, we're going to the tiebreaker.
You just had to agree with him and you'd have won.
I was told I couldn't. He's bigger than me, so I just like I weren't going to argue with 95 kilos, were I?
He's losing weight as the show goes on.
It's a sauna in here.
Right, so for the first time ever, we've gone to the tiebreaker, which I'm quite pleased about because it usually takes me forever to make these tiebreakers up. So round 6 saw some of the biggest attendances so far in Super League, but what was the total attendance figure for the whole of round 6?
Is this
So
this week just gone?
Closest. Oh, have
And
we got a
it's-
choice? Have we got a choice
Yeah.
here?
No.
No.
I want
to
your
make it
closest guess. So you've got to guess every single attendance of every single
Alright,
game.
we'll read
in
out the
round
games.
6 added together.
Well, you Warrington Wigan,
Warrington Wigan. All right, okay.
Hull FC Widnes, Leeds London.
Wait, slow down.
So Hull FC Widnes, Warrington Wigan,
Yeah.
Leeds versus London, Catalan versus Huddersfield, Hull KR versus Bradford, Salford versus Cass, and Wakey versus Saints. Top of my head, I'd go.
Because Simmons loves a guessy game.
Yeah.
I can see cogs working away.
I'd say about.
Kelvin, go first.
Yeah, go on.
So you've got to do one more, one less, and you got. I don't know.
All right. I don't know. 50,000.
So Kelvin's saying 50,000 calves.
It's not about what you do, Sam. What's his card question? Let him answer it.
I think I'm going to go less.
You're saying less than 50,000?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, Simo, because I know you're itching.
48,
What would you
I'd
have gone
say.
for? Because I know you're going to come out with an exact figure.
I'd go for like 47,634.
Well, Simo, you'd be massively wrong.
Alright.
The exact figure is
Yeah, that's good.
59,174.
No.
59,000.
It's just
Hold
gone
on a
off.
second. Because where have they come from?
You can rip that old contract up. Put it that way.
Leeds this week had 12,000.
Hull had 11,000.
Yeah.
Warrington had just short of 12,000.
Yes, that's 30 odd. Catalan had 5.
Catalan had 6, I think.
Catalan had
Sure.
6,600, I
Less than
believe.
that, 5,000 somewhere.
So I won that one, yeah.
You did, calves.
So it's up to me now to make a tweet on Car's phone.
Yeah, is that
Who
right?
won?
Who won? Did I win?
I won.
Sorry,
Kelvin
Kelvin.
won.
It's a good one.
Well, oh look, that's my little boy. Just be careful.
Right, we're going to move on to a talking point now. We mentioned it in our column on League Weekly, and we're going to get Big Keith's and the panel's opinions right now about is Super League going soft and what's all the bands about. Taya, give us a bit of background on this, because you're the one who wrote it. Try and be as interesting as possible when you speak on the mic, yeah?
It's impossible. Basically, a lot of players have been getting banned lately. Mickey McAlordham got banned, 3-match ban for breaking Kurt Dixon's jaw. And
3 matches for that.
3 matches for that. Jordan
He's going
Tanzi
soft.
got the same ban for pushing a referee when they were backing into him on the line.
You see that?
I missed it.
Oh,
I missed
mate,
that
it's a
game.
joke. Thing is, right, it's imagine you running backwards and you're not looking, and it was like literally like that,
Yeah.
but it looked like he'd been shot.
Yeah, you see.
But the ref didn't report it. They just
panel.
review panel saw it and brought it up.
I think that's
Jordan went, "What are you on about?"
Yeah, Mickey Pearce got done in that same game, I think, for diving at someone's knees. He got 2 games. So it's, I don't know, it's player welfare, isn't it? That's what they're trying to go for.
In Australia, they're going mad over the concussion rule. Keithy, what's your thoughts?
Concussion rule.
Basically, now they're saying if you get knocked out, it's a minimum 1 game. You've got to miss a week minimum.
Right, yeah, well,
But-
they normally do the cog sport test, which you can't fail, which gives you your head, gives you where you're at with your head, and then you have to do the testing if you've been knocked out or concussed. And if you pass it again, then you're allowed to play. If you fail it, then you're not allowed to play, so to speak. But I can understand it a little bit because, again, it's down to the player's welfare, and a concussion can be quite serious. Again, it's in the head, and you don't actually know the damage that's being caused.
Yeah.
So by giving them making it a one week game is, it's about being smart, I think. But it's, us players, we know if we're injured and we're buggered, we will still play.
Yeah, well,
As we know.
Yeah, you do. yeah. Lost in that game. No, it is though. But what people tend to do is, if someone's unconscious and they wake up, they'll strap the leg up or limp off, and sort of try and make out it's an ankle or something like that, so that they don't miss that week. There's ways around it, isn't there? But players just want to play. It's something that needs to be put in place because, like you say, players will play with anything. So it is welfare, I think. But we'll see how many people actually
But I
have that
think-
week off.
But I think going down to what we discussed about is the consistency really, and the same happened with me many years ago when I first did my BJ Mather punch. I got 4 games for that game. I got banned for 4 games because it was on BBC, and they near enough told me because the game was on TV I got more of a ban. I punched John Wilkin exactly the same, and I only got 1 game.
That wasn't a punch.
It was a slap, but
a slap.
But I still, same sort of incident, and I got 1 game. And I think that's where the consistency is wrong. The panel, they're not getting it right. They're not, for one rule, it's one rule for one and another rule for other. I think they need to sort that out where no matter what it is, there's got to be a set ban for it. And that's the consistency, and it's showing that they're not very consistent and different. The same things are getting different games, and that's what I find it's frustrating.
I think like the NRL, although we don't want to follow them, they've got it sort of right where you get points. You do a certain thing, you get a point. They add up and equate to however matches you're going to get banned. So maybe something like that could make it a little bit more consistent. But yeah, it tends to be at the beginning of the season. The refs or the review panel have been told to look at certain things, and then for the first few weeks or couple of months, they absolutely hammer it, and then as the season wears on, it's forgotten about.
Who's on the panel? Is it?
There's some ex-players.
I thought it was. I was visiting Steve Prescott when he was ill last year, before obviously he sadly passed away. And I remember going in with Mark Flanagan, and there'd been some sort of ban that week, and was talking about it. And I said, "Who was on this disciplinary panel? Who was it?" And he went, "Well, actually, Kelvin, I was on for that decision."
Yeah.
And I didn't know that ex-players are on there. And ex-players know better than anyone else. When sometimes there's, it's not a malicious. It won't be malicious. There's not a lot of players. I'm sure there's a few out there that go out and try and do malicious. The third man in little tackles. That I know that Flash himself was a victim of that. But most players are going for a tackle, and there's no malice in it.
Yeah.
And you think an ex-player would understand that and be lenient towards or understand that sometimes when these bans are being thrown out left, right and centre, I think it's killing the game. And it's still not, it's not like the game's going soft. I've never played it in open air, so I can't really talk. But when the shoulder charge got dropped, obviously these players well for people are playing this game because they want to. They know the lasting effects. There's talk that people are saying the reason why the RFL are doing this is in fear that the players are going to sue later down the line. For 20 years later when they've got certain medical conditions, they're going to then sue the RFL by saying, well, I got this condition because I was playing rugby. So if that's the case, they need all the players to sign some sort of indemnity form saying they're not going to do that.
You can see the pound signs in Keith's eyes.
Can you do that?
It's an option. You're straight on phone to the lawyer after the game.
If we could have done it, I would have done it. Don't worry about that. I tried everything else.
Yeah, that banning the shoulder charge, all for player welfare and everything like that. But it's a spectator sport as well. People love that side of the game.
I've never met a player who was glad to see that
Yeah,
go.
but I've not either.
Even little
everyone-
halfbacks, who most cop it,
Shoulder charge on the hip, they do. But but it's right. It's a spectator sport, and when you see any sort of clips on YouTube or whatever, they're all more or less shoulder charges.
It's always the biggest that get them.
Yeah.
Because that's what people want to see. And it's unfair. I know Biffy got his jaw broken in one, but that was sort of a clash of heads.
Mainly down to his big handbrake as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Last minute drop.
little-
Hey, slow it up here.
a little turn on floor there
Yeah.
behind him, but that was a clash of heads. And you can argue if that'd be a shoulder charge, your head's going to get clashed, but it happens all the time. Players swinging around and things like that. But whether it's going soft or not, I don't know. I think it's more sort of like say the legal side of things maybe that they're worried about.
But every time you read a review of a game, now it's such a body's been banned, he's got a grade B offence, a grade C, this grade. It's not about like some big line breaks or really good tries or big shots. It's like head teachers are having a review of the game, and it's just picking out all the negative points. And for me, it just takes the edge off it a little bit. And
I think one of the points though is the fact that to put it down, it's because he broke his jaw, and that's because he's trying to compare a 3-game ban for Jordan Tansey for pushing a referee, and he's got a 3-game ban, Mickey McLaurin for breaking somebody's jaw. You can't take into account the break of the jaw. It's unfortunate that he has broke his jaw, but you've got to take into consideration the action that he has done to do that. So that's why I think it's it's wrong, you know, for the piece to compare it because it's looking at a broken jaw. You know, accidents do happen, and it's unfortunate that he has broken his jaw, but you've got to look at the incident and what caused the incident rather than the outcome of the incident.
Bring back the Biff.
Bring back the beef.
No, he's in
Bring back the
Australia.
Biff.
We don't want him back.